All right, we are live, and if you're just tuning in, we have no one here yet because we're late, probably. But technical difficulty is back in effect, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna
They
roll
just
the intro, boys, and then we're gonna introduce our guest for today.
sounds
Um,
good.
Let me just do
Let's
one quick thing. I need to. There we go.
You're live in three, two, one.
Did it do it again? Okay. Did it do it again, Jonathan?
Yeah,
I
they
thought I
just
had this figured out where it would roll without the superimposed guest. Um,
oh, it didn't do that. It just didn't roll for me.
oh really?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I can see it.
Oh okay. What the
All right.
heck
Well,
is
whatever.
going on? Lucas Fowler, welcome to OnlyFrets / technical difficulties.
Hey,
Hello.
Uh, it is Firebird Day. If all of you
Firebird
can't,
o'clock.
it's Firebird o'clock. And we all have different birds. So maybe Jonathan, you have the latest one. What did you do, sir?
Well, I did it because of you, my friend. After last week's episode concluded, we got on the topic of Firefly. Let me see right there. And he's like, "Yeah, you gotta check out the website." Now he's shown me the website a couple times, and obviously I'm very aware of Firefly as a brand. And we were like, "Oh yeah, let's look at it." And I saw the FFDB section, which is their Firebird section. I was like, "What is that?" And long story short, it's here. I can barely hear myself, so I'm just playing on intuition. Not that I play well anyway. Plus, I just changed the strings on it. So, but this thing is an absolute ripper. I mean,
It
it's
sounds
just
fantastic.
it's so good.
Nice.
I've already got the like unboxing review video on it and all that kind of stuff, and then I did an episode for my Make Guitar Shred Again series. I've already, because I've just been playing this thing nonstop. So, but
Nice. Nice.
Firefly, absolutely 100%. The hype is real. It's worth the money.
Very
So
cool.
good.
And Lucas, what do you got there, sir? Very familiar if anybody
yeah.
knows your channel.
Yeah, this is Claire. This
Claire.
is it's a 2017 Gibson Firebird T.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I got lucky actually. I did like these ended up getting really expensive, but I got it like the year after it came out when nobody wanted them, so it wasn't very expensive. But like now, man, it would be hard to get a hold of one of these. But yeah, it's just I mean, to me, it's just like a regular Firebird 5, but it's in Pelham blue, and importantly, it has the Steinberg gearless tuners on it,
Yeah.
which are great because they hold tune really good, but also they're super light, so it doesn't do the banjo tuner thing.
Oh, nice.
If you've ever played like a real old Firebird, like they're just like so yeah, and this one has I didn't like the stock Gibson pickups. They were real, I thought, shrill sounding. So these are Planet Tone Mean Mistreater mini humbuckers.
Cool.
They're not actually Firebird pickups. They're mini humbuckers, but
Yeah.
it's still it's Firebird adjacent. It's awesome. I like the guitar a lot. It's real snappy and am I turned on?
Lucas, of course you're turned on because we're live from all these people's mom's house. Duh.
Yeah, true. Nothing brings your mom to the yard faster than a Firebird. So
That's
Oh
right.
yeah,
That's
absolutely.
I roll up in the Firebird and she's on her way out.
He's in
Mom
on it
jokes
now.
before Christmas, everybody. Y'all know why we're here.
Yeah.
And then this is the Bird, my kit guitar from Solo Music Gear with Lawlers, partially sponsored, not to toot my own horn, and Guyker tuners and the whole shebang. I will say the tone of this being a bolt-on is very different. The pickups seem to react. Like I've never really had a ton of experience with Firebird pickups, but they seem to react way differently with the bolt-on neck situation. I think it would be a lot different if it was a through neck. Now I'm not a Jonathan. Everybody knows Jonathan and I are not tone wood guys per se, but or really at all. I believe in it when it comes to acoustics and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
with electric guitars, it's all in the pickups. But I will say that the construction does seem to matter to a degree. You know, I have 3 pickup Telecasters. They don't sound like my 3 pickup Strat necessarily, and I think that like how it's built could have an effect. I think Jonathan's is a set neck. Lucas, yours is a through neck, so you know
is,
that middle part of the body is
Literally have the whole trifecta
giant
here.
piece,
Kinda
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's like a 9-ply, like multiple pieces of wood glued together. I'm pretty
Yep.
sure. I mean, mine's painted over, so I couldn't tell you for sure, but I think that's how these are designed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
something.
happy holidays to you, Mark and Sparky, and anybody else who's jumping in with us today.
Happy holidays, my dudes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Jonathan, Lucas, I saw a video yesterday that I sent you about PRS, and so I kind of wanted to start it off with a fun question that's always kind of a hot topic. Do PRS guitars have soul?
Oh, that's a good question. I have some thoughts on that. Hang on, let me put this one down for a sec.
Yeah.
Like first of all, I mean, what is soul? Like, can you quantify that? You know what I mean? When someone's like, PRS doesn't have soul, what is, you know, what do you mean when you say soul? Now, I'll give you my answer, but let me put this thing down.
I think
It's also kind of the same question as like when people say play with feel. It's like, well, people feel differently, you know. So what is your semblance of feel might be like the blues, but my semblance of feel might be like jazzy, kind of.
Yeah.
You know, like it's more
sensual,
like whatever.
I think what
same
very
thing.
esoteric question.
I think what people are talking about when they say that is character, that the guitar has character. That's something that makes it sound unique. And I understand in the sense that with PRS, something I've noticed is there's a lot of consistency. So like more or less, any PRS that you pick up sounds like any other version of that same model. A custom 24 sounds like a custom 24, sounds like a custom 24. But I think we would all say you probably had the experience of like, if you go pick up a Strat and another Strat and another Strat, like those Strats don't necessarily all sound the same. Especially to me, it's like Les Pauls, like a Les Paul, like it can have very, very different. And you know, that comes down to things like pickups and stuff too. But in my experience, I think part of that is chalked up to the consistency thing. And there's a sort of mystique that comes with having to find the one that works for you. Whereas like the PRS, it's so consistent that like the model works for you or it doesn't.
Right.
So I tend to think of that. That's probably, I think, what people are saying when they say it doesn't have soul or whatever. But I think it's more like, does the guitar inspire you? You know, and if having to find the one that works for you and that something about its eccentricities is what inspires you, then like, cool. For me, guitars are tools. And I'm looking for the tool that does the job the best for me in like any incremental place. So if this one in particular does all the things the best for me, that's what I care about. Because then I provide the soul information that comes from the hands. You know what I mean? So
I would agree with that. Yeah, I mean, I think the feel or the soul of whatever you're playing comes from the player. I mean, I've seen. We talked about this off camera, but like Zach from Mythos, like just rip, some ZZ Top on his, PRS model, whatever he chooses. I mean, and he has his own playing style is because of his wrist and how it healed.
Oh yeah, he can't turn it all the way over.
Right, so he plays kind of strangely, or unorthodox, but it gives him a sort of like a sound to where you kind of like know it's him when he's playing for sure. And similarly to, and your style of music, I think, Lucas, is just perfect for PRS. We- And if you're a touring musician, you want that consistency. If you drop your Starla there on the ground, you'd want to know that you could go grab another one at a Guitar Center and,
Yeah.
have very
Yeah.
little uh,
Yeah. Well, I think
change.
too, like, when we're talking about like you can't take out of things like aesthetic and all that stuff. I mean, it's all these things tied together in the way that your brain associates how a guitar sounds is partially how it looks. It's all tied together. But I will say that um, if I like this, I have this kind of set up like an HSS, like a Strat thing. And if I put it in the Strat position and I play you some really authentic Stevie sounding licks and you're not looking at me, like, I dare anyone to be like, yeah, that's not a Strat.
Right.
Like, you're not gonna,
Yeah.
because, like, if I can do a good job playing the lick and the tone is pretty close, then it's really splitting hairs at that point. Because, like I said, like with Strats, every third Strat is different. So, like, the difference between this and a Strat is the difference between any Strat and another Strat.
Yeah.
And so I guess that's my thing, is that, like, I think there's some animosity towards PRS that people like to kind of get on. And I can understand that. I can understand where those people are coming from a lot of times. And if you don't like something, you don't like something. That's cool. But if we're just being logical about it, like, there's a reason why so many famous artists use these guitars. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's not because when you get to a certain point, when you're Neil Sean or whatever, you can play whatever you want. It's not like Neil Sean needs money from endorsements. You know what I mean? So, like,
Right.
so if you're up on stage playing this guitar, it's because you like that guitar. There's a reason Mark Tremonti's been playing Paul Reed Smith guitars since like 2000 or something, or Santana or any of these guys, like John Mayer, like all these guys. They there's a reason, and people always want to assume there's some corporate mega entity on top of that that's like, oh, it's all about money or whatever. Like, no, I mean, like, these guys are like, they're nerds. They are.
Yeah.
I've met quite a few of them now. I met Mark, and he absolutely is just a giant guitar nerd. I mean, he's what you want him to be. I mean, he's like a super cool, chill guy, but then you like mention something to him about a particular model of amp and transformer, and he's like right there. He's in the zone with you. And that's what I'm saying. Like, those guys, they're like that. So that, to me, in general, I think, especially when you're talking about those upper echelon dudes that have been doing it for 20 some years, they can play whatever they want. There's a reason. And I agree. That's been my experience. But yeah, I mean, I think lots of guitars have soul. It's about what it does for you individually. What it does for you. Like, if you feel more inspired by something kind of pawn shoppy, like the Jack White sort of thing, where it's like a little weird and finicky and there's like some kind of strange design, maybe doesn't work the way it's intended to or whatever, but there's something special about that to you, then, like, awesome, make some great music. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's what I'm here for.
Let me tell you on the note of that, and then I got another note about the PRS thing. Something that I found and that resonated with a lot of people is I found at one of my local shops 2 First Act guitars, like Walmart budget, like the cheap ones, right? I found, there's a cheap one, and then there was the one that they gave away with the Volkswagens, the Volkswagen.
Oh yeah, I remember those. Yeah.
Let me tell you, I bought those for, just for the hell of it, right? I was like, oh, these will be fun little things. And that Volkswagen one was really, really good. And I compared it kind of to the Jack White thing, where it's like, it's this quirky kind of weird thing with like these built-in effects that are not like great, but they had something to them, right? And to some degree, I kind of regret getting rid of that guitar because I mean, with me, I buy and sell and trade a lot to kind of fund stuff for the channel. So that was one of those with the intention of doing that. But it's one of those that I feel like not got away, but I was like, man, there was just so much that could have come out of that guitar because of its just quirkiness. It's like you said with the pawn shop thing. Going on to my point about PRS, I'm in the camp of I've not really got PRS, and I can almost narrow it down to the fact that every PRS that I've played that I've not been able to set up myself has felt like crap because they've come off of Guitar Store walls. And I know for a fact they're not setting them. Like, I've never played wood libraries or like the core model. Assuming they're probably a bit different, but I've played S2s, I've played SEs, and to me, if they're not here for me to set them up and restring them and clean them up, they're just I can't buy one because I'm just like, it's just doesn't feel right. Like, why
You're
would I
saying
pay all
in
this
the
money for
store.
it? In the store.
Got it.
Right. So
Yeah.
that goes into the whole point of where you have the argument of, do you buy online or do you go to the shop and try it out? Because there's so many people that are still hung up on the idea of you have to go to a shop and try it out.
Right.
To some degree, yes. But in my case, if I did that, I would never have a PRS because everyone that I've played just about, dead strings, terrible setups, like the action's a mile high. I mean, I'm going into the actual like American made like S2s and stuff even.
Yeah.
And it's just like, but I know that they're good.
Yeah.
I know that they are because I've had them. I've had SEs that have been like, oh my God, like I've had a Tremonti SE, and those things are fantastic guitars. That's one that I regret getting rid of at 1.2. So, but I think the stigma behind the PRS is like they're the doctor, lawyer, dentist guitars.
Right. Yeah.
On the wall. That's the whole stigma behind it. It's like
I get that in some respects, but more so if we're talking about 20 plus years ago. But I mean, they've been doing the SE line now since like 2000 or 2001 or something.
Yeah. Right.
And
yeah.
that line is like continued to, and then with the S2s, which for a long time I would tell you that the S2 was really the sweet spot.
Yeah.
But I have several like nice core model guitars too, but there is something kind of, I think, really cool about this particular mid-range sort of area. But I think now we cover such a wide span with those things that I think people that have that stuff to say, usually it comes down to like, there's something about the people or someone I know that plays this guitar that I don't like, and therefore I associate this. It's not really about the guitar.
Right.
And that's something I've dealt with before too. I've been a headstock queen, like about like, oh, this doesn't like this Epiphone headstock doesn't look like the Gibson headstock. I don't, I've been that guy.
Yeah.
And it's only in the past like maybe 5 years or something I've really managed to tune that out and just like pick up the guitar and go, yeah, this is a good guitar, or no, this is not a good guitar.
Yeah, I mean,
well, it's because of people like you that the Epiphones are now $1,200 brand new. So thanks a lot, Lucas. Appreciate it.
Yeah. or you can't buy a Greco from the 2000s or the 90s.
For sure, that I might have had something to do with that. And I apologize to all the Greco fans. That was never my intention.
And the Yamaha, Gibson, what are the Gibson killers, the Les Paul killers.
Oh, the
Studio Lords, is that what they're called?
Or what are they called?
The Studio Lords.
RX 400s or whatever they are from the 80s or 90s, where the lawsuit era Yamahas or whatever. Those things are really expensive now too. My dad had one for a lot of years, and the double cut version, and he preferred it over my deluxe here, and that worked out really well for me because I ended up with that deluxe. But I just feel like with PRS, I think, to Jonathan's point, sorry to skip around a little bit, but to Jonathan's point about the off the rack, my experience with PRS in a guitar store is going over to the used section, finding like a Mark Holcomb model and playing that. So this guitar already potentially had been set up and it was awesome. So like, being used, having the setup probably already done on it definitely helped. I haven't been able to really connect with the PRS outside of that one. So maybe even that stands to reason for what you were saying, Jonathan, a little bit more. And
I can give you a little bit of extra
Lucas
insight here
probably
too.
Look past that and get one at his house.
I am, as you probably know, like kind of pretty intimately familiar with PRS as a brand. I have been for a long time. But importantly, like I was like kind of a fanboy before. Hey, Joe. And then in like 2013 2013 or 2014, I went and worked at a music store for a while that was a dealer. So I've been to the PRS experiences, I've been to the factory, and I've been on the sort of dealer, we buy and QC the guitar sort of side of things. And a big part of what you're talking about is neck relief. Because nothing makes a guitar play like garbage faster than the neck being bowed.
Absolutely.
And that just happens with the weather. I mean, like, even the guitars, people are like, oh, it's got truss rod reinforcement, carbon fiber, it's roasted. It doesn't matter, dude. Like, to some extent, humidity will affect the guitar's neck. And so, like, if as a dealer, you know, we would buy the guitar if we got it in July and the guitar hung out on the wall until December. Somewhere in there, one of us is going to have to go get that guitar down and adjust the truss rod, or no one's going to buy it, you know, because because it plays like garbage. And that's what it's so funny. Like, before we started, you know, I was talking to Sean about I keep these little truss rod wrenches like everywhere. They're in my gig bag, they're on my desk, they're like in my pocket. Because nothing ruins my guitar playing ability faster than the neck being bowed too far forward, because that increases the action enough that if you're really dialed into your technique, which for me is like really small economy of motion sort of stuff, then just raising that action a little bit over here, and it's like I can't play anymore.
Well, and see, I'm the same way. I'm like, my rack of guitars back here, you can't see them because all this other stuff's in the way, but all of those back there, I religiously keep them, you know, low action, strings change. But it's like you said, it's been, I'm in Georgia, so it's been cold here recently, but then it goes right back to warm for like 2 days, and then it goes back to cold. And every guitar I haven't played in like a minute or two, it's out, and I'm like, oh my god, I gotta. But I'm like, it's the same thing. Like, you can be religious about it, but once that weather starts to change, the humidity starts to change, it dries out and goes back and forth like that, which it does here constantly. It throws it all off. So it's like, you just got to be on it. So I'm with you with the keeping the wrenches on hand. My toolbox is always within arm's reach.
That's a thing too. If I could do like a public service announcement for people, it would be like, one, like, know what the truss rod in your guitar does, like know how it works and how to adjust it, and then also don't be afraid to adjust it.
That's
I fear in all of us for years.
Yeah, like as a luthier, I cannot tell you how many times people have been like, oh, I was afraid to adjust that, I didn't want to break the neck. I'm like, do you realize what you would have to do to break a neck with a truss rod? Like, that's insane what you're talking about.
Full body weight down on it. Yeah, like you would have to.
I mean, it's just that's not how this stuff works. I mean, and if you got a guitar like that, then like that's not going to be your first problem. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I mean, it's like people say too about the neck. Like, you've seen people where they do like, they take necks and they'll like stand on them and jump on them and stuff, and they're like across two beam, like walk on it like a beam, and it's like, you realize how resilient guitar necks are. Like, they're strong. They're not going to break easily.
Yeah, they're meant to withstand hundreds of pounds of pressure. And what we're talking about is adjusting really minute differences. I mean, we're talking about making the difference in 10,000ths, 20,000ths of an inch. But that makes a big difference under your fingers.
Huge.
And so it's just, to me, it's so important to know how to adjust your truss rod. Like, if it's one of these Allen key ones, know what size it is, you know, so you don't strip anything out. And if you just get comfortable with how to do that adjustment, and like, I don't even use gauges. I just do the old, like, you know, hold a finger here and hold a finger here, and then I tap the string. You know, and I just can tell, like, oh, that's too much, or it's not bouncing at all, I need to adjust it. And that makes all the difference, man. Like, that's the first adjustment I do on like anything.
Listen, kids. Adjust your truss rods, okay?
Yes, adjust your truss. I need like a T-shirt that just says "Adjust your truss rods."
So whenever I do my little setup series, whenever I do that, I always teach people. I learned from Phil McKnight a long time ago that acronym TRAIN: truss rod relief, or tune, relief, action, intonation, and then I guess noodle around or whatever.
Yeah,
that has been a lifesaver for me. Because it's one of those things where it's like, you start with the truss rod, and I mean, like, that's the whole precipice to get this thing set up, is because if you get that thing, you can lower the action all the way, and it's like it doesn't matter if truss rod. So it's like, you said, you got to learn how to adjust the truss rod, because if you don't, you're gonna have terrible setups. Like, example on this one, when I did the video for that, this bridge is like, I think on the bass side it's all the way down. And over here, it's got a little bit of room to go down, but the action on this is so low and it doesn't fret out, it doesn't buzz, nothing. It's so comfortable to play because the neck is set like perfectly, and that was out of the box.
That's
Like this
crazy.
thing is like got the slightest bow in it.
Yeah.
It's perfect, and I mean it's beautiful.
Firefly has really changed the budget guitar game. I was, you know, I have a Harley Benton behind me here, right there, that SG, and I was on the Harley Benton train real hard for a while, but apparently, and I haven't bought my first Firefly yet. I'm waiting for the one I can't let go, but they apparently, and Jonathan's attesting to this right now, but apparently they are incredible, like ball end frets, like no sharp frets,
Yeah,
bone nuts, like, you know, the only thing lacking on those apparently is like the pickups in
Yeah,
some models, but not
that's
in
been
others.
my experience with, as you guys know, I do the luthier thing, or at least until recently, I've done that pretty professionally, like lots and lots of stuff.
Yeah.
And I have seen a lot of Fireflies.
Yeah.
And it's most of the time it's somebody wants me to change pickups or put a new, like a nut on it or something. Some of the older models didn't have the nicer specs to begin with.
right.
But I will say that in my experience, all the bones of the guitar have been totally fine. Like everything's good. Like if you want to change pickups, great. You know, you want to put some locking tuners on it or whatever. But in general, my thing that I call out all the time on guitars is frets. Like, are the frets level?
Yeah.
Nothing like that's really important. Are the frets level? And in my experience, pretty much, I would say like, I don't know, 90% of the ones that I've seen, which is dozens, have been like perfectly level frets.
They have to be doing like a plec on that, like a or some version
But
of
if they're
that. where-
plecking them and to keep them like well under $300, like
Right.
even on like because this one was $224 shipped. It was
Oh,
on sale for $199. So
Let me give you a hot take on Plex. Okay, so like people want to talk about Plek is like this amazing thing or whatever, and like scientifically speaking, yes, but like one, you have to have the Plek set up immaculately. Like it's very important that the tolerances of the Plek be right, because otherwise it's going off math that's not correct. And I will argue till the end of my days that like you can do a better job or the same job faster as a luthier than you can to involve the Plek. Because you've got to go put it in the machine, you've got to have it measured, you got to let it do its whole thing, then get it out. Like it's going to do all that work, but then you still got to go back and crown and file all the frets and like and then polish.
Maybe
it.
they're not plecking them then.
Like
you know?
the amount of time you lose doing the Plek thing to me is not worth it, unless you are some company like Gibson where you've got, I don't know how many, they must have more than one of them set up.
Yeah.
And that's my other thing too. Like I've gotten so many Gibson guitars that have come through here that have been plecked that are not right.
Yeah.
And so it's like, to me, either the Plek machine's not set up or you guys don't know what you're doing. But like, I would say, here's my hot take. Don't pay a bunch of extra money to have your guitar plecked. Just take it to a really good luthier and let them do a regular fret job. Like
Right.
you're gonna, there's certain things that a regular luthier does. Like there's a built-in radius compounding that happens with your frets when you do it with the beam, because of the way the fretboard travel is, whereas a Plek is doing it exactly this way. So what you might actually like the feel of is your frets having a slight compound radius to them as they go up the fingerboard. You just don't realize it.
Right.
So do you think then that the Plek?
Jonathan is frozen, but
No.
I'll
Hello.
just take
Can
a
you hear
quick
me?
Oh,
minute
yeah.
here
Hello?
to say
I
what
can-
up.
Yeah, I can see him just fine and hear him. Yeah.
Oh, really? I can't hear
Yeah.
him at all.
Sean, hello.
So weird. What is
Oh yeah,
happening?
that's weird. I can. Yeah, he's telling you
Lucas,
hello.
you can hear me?
Can't
Yeah,
hear.
he said he's gonna go see your mom later.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That tracks. I
This
believe
happens
it. I believe
every
he's
time as of late, about halfway
but
through.
I
We
can't
have this
hear.
problem.
That's so weird.
There
I wonder if the people watching can see him, because I can for sure.
Well, I can
Anybody
see
in
and hear
the
everybody.
comments, hit me up if they can hear Jonathan. It's up 2 yards. Got Pedal Playhouse here. Mark, Yossi.
Man, I
all
had a
the-
good
all the
question,
bros
too.
hanging out, and Joan, of course.
Just hang on to it.
I don't know what's happening. That's gonna be really awkward.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
It's
He has
always
so many negative things to say about you, and you can't hear any of them.
They can hear Jonathan just fine. I don't know what's happening. I'm going to refresh. I'll be right back.
oh great,
Okay.
leave me alone. What do I do? Oh no.
In the hot seat.
Hey, look, I host trivia games and stuff. It's like a side hustle, so I'm used to big crowds. But
Yeah.
we're not in front of a big crowd, so it's okay. I'm just kidding. No, but I'll go ahead and just ask the question then. Here's
Sure.
Sean. So then, do you think, going back to the Plek thing, that the Plek option at Sweetwater, do you think that's just kind of like a money grab, or do you think it really actually makes any kind of a difference? Because I mean, there are people that do swear by the Plek. Like I get the premise of it, but
That's a fair question. Well, for one, I don't know how much the Plek option costs.
it's like
To have that done. It's like $250 to have the Plek option done.
Yeah,
I would be curious to know how much Sweetwater charges to just have like one of their luthier, or do they even have like regular luthier guys that will just do a regular old fret job?
Right.
Because I think the monetary value makes a difference there. But what I will say is that I think it's a misnomer to say that a Plek is going to do a better job than a qualified luthier. I think the job is going to be the same within just the time, like, you know, a thousandth of an inch tolerance, maybe. So I don't think it's worth more money than having.
Okay.
Now you got to have a reputable luthier. You got to have somebody who knows what they're doing.
Right.
And so, I was just talking to a friend about this the other day. Like, when you're looking for a luthier, don't be afraid to ask for references, because like a luthier that's worth his salt will be like, yeah, here's a couple of guys that I've done some work for. And those guys usually will be like, yeah, he did a great job. Like, it's a word of mouth kind of thing. If they're like, oh, I don't want to bother my clients, and don't go to that guy, you know, or girl, whatever. Yeah, if you get a really like a good luthier, I mean, like for instance, I generally, I mean, it changes per area, I guess, but I generally, if I was going to do like a complete level and dress for someone, I'm probably going to charge about $250 or $300, depending on what the frets are and how many frets there are in that thing.
Right, yeah.
And like, generally, I think I do as good a job as any Plek job I've ever seen, just because there's some basic science to it. And once you understand how to stabilize the neck and do it and everything, it's not rocket science. It's just tedious.
Yeah, sure.
So,
Right, yeah.
that would be to answer your question more broadly, is like, I don't think it's worth more. I don't know that I would say it's a money grab, because if they don't offer the other service, if that's the only way you can get your frets like leveled and dressed, then like, no, that's probably worth it to rather than to not have it done. But also I would say, when you get into a certain area of guitar, like after you pay a certain amount of money, you shouldn't have to have a Plek done.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That's what 2 Yards just said. He said Plek's work, but I shouldn't have to pay for it for guitars over $2,000, which I absolutely agree with that.
Definitely not. Yeah,
absolutely.
No, I think at this point, if I'm paying $800 for a guitar, those frets should be level.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing. KDH actually did a video recently where Rabia Masad sent him one of his Sterling models. And that was the one, not to spoil it for anybody that hasn't watched it, but la 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 if you don't want to hear it. The big thing that he saw with it was down here, the frets, he would bend it around like the 17th and it would just fret out. And I mean, those guitars are like $1,000. Yeah. And that was the point that I was thinking. I'm like, man, at $1,000, you shouldn't have fret issues at all. Really, you shouldn't have any.
So there's really like two things that can cause that, and that's either the frets being pressed in and then not leveled afterwards, so they're just not level, or you can have wood not being dry enough or being over dried, and then the wood kind of shifting a little bit. So that's something that's more likely to happen if you get a guitar that's like made in, like, let's say Indonesia or China or something, and then it's shipped across the sea on a slow boat to the US or Europe or whatever. All that climate change between there, it can make a difference in the wood. So I always encourage people, when they get an instrument, if you haven't like done it before you go and like start messing with frets or anything like that, like oil the fingerboard, get some moisture back in it. You know, if it's not like a maple board or something, but put some moisture in it. Make sure the guitar is in a climate controlled room that's like adequately humidified but not too humid. Because that can make a big difference. Like, that can be the make or break between some fret buzz or not. But if you're buzzing out, like if you're bending and it's like completely fretting out, then that's probably a high fret. Because I guess I should say that also a fret can come unseated.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take much. Now, I wouldn't advise anybody do this, but a lot of times you can fix that with a fret hammer and just find the fret and just smack it back down a couple times.
Yep.
Because a fret hammer has a soft brass tip on it, so you can hit the fret and it's not going to dent the fret in any way. It'll dent the hammer.
Right.
An important thing to note too. But these are things, again, go to your local luthier and hand him the guitar and be like, hey, it's fretting out here. Why?
Yeah.
And then this guy, if we know what we're doing, he can look at it and go, your fret's unseated. Or like you got a little, we got fret rockers and stuff like that. He can tell you right there. Because sometimes that's a really easy thing to fix. Like I've had people bring me guitars before with the fret unseated, and I'll be like, yeah, let me just bang, bang, bang.
Right.
Here you go. I'm not going to charge you anything for that. It took me 5 minutes.
Right.
So always investigate, I guess is what I'm saying.
Well, is the amount of used guitars that I've gotten where the frets are just dented to hell and back, because I'm pretty sure someone might have had, and they're, like affordable guitars. I mean, I'm like, how did someone possibly play something like this enough to dent it? That I'm like, no, they probably had an unseated fret. I mean, it makes sense,
Yep.
So you never know. You never know.
Yeah, I've seen some crazy damage to frets before where there'll be like a line in it, not like a gouge from a fret wear, but like there'll just be like a straight line, like someone took a chisel.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And I think, what did you hit it on a cymbal or something? Like how did we? But yeah, I mean,
it was a local hardcore show accident. Let's just.
I have seen some crazy stuff go down at the old hardcore shows back in the aughts.
Hardcore.
Oh God.
Apparently, when I put on the stream today, the title in our thing is still Brian at Searching for Tone. So I'm currently working to update my stream via YouTube so that it
look. We've had a heck of a time.
Oh my God,
trying to get this going. And I'll tell you what, the reason that we started late was my fault 100%. You want to know why?
Yeah, tell us.
I forgot.
Nice.
Oh my God.
But it wasn't that I didn't have it in my mind. I was literally working on a video. I'm doing something a little different. I'm doing an ad spot. I got a sponsor reach out to me from it was like a water filter company, and I'm like, how the heck am I gonna do this? And I was like, oh, that I can do that ad spot in the middle of the video. So I was like, cool, that's a new experience. So I was working on that and I just completely forgot.
Oh goodness.
But
I want to do an
not
ad
that I
spot
wasn't excited
so bad,
to talk to you, Lucas.
I just don't know of any companies that would want to sponsor me for an ad spot, but I sure would like to do that.
Well, that was just like
companies would be interested.
Well, I had another company reach out to me shortly after wanting to do like a gaming chair, and I was like, that's cool. I can use that, because I was actually in the market for a new gaming chair at one point, just because I wanted it to be like pink and fit in with the whole and this one had like a massager on. I was like, oh, this is cool. And then they just stopped talking to me, and I was like, hello, and like, oh, we noticed your views are down a little bit, so we decided not to go. And I'm like, you could have seen that maybe some of my past videos haven't done as well recently.
Yeah, they just mass market all those emails to like. What one of my favorite things is I get emails a lot that are addressed to Hunter from AggiFish.
Oh,
like I don't know why, and he and I don't look alike. We don't do the same thing. Our channels are not named similar, but not just from one company, from multiple companies. I will get email. It'll say, "Hi Hunter, we enjoy your AggiFish channel." I'm like,
oh my gosh.
And they'll be offering me some kind of piece of gear or something. Usually I just don't even answer, but it just cracks me up. I don't know why him in particular.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is it's just like, I mean, but we talked about that last week too, with the sponsorships and emails and stuff like that. I mean, it's like, with me personally, I've accepted a lot of them because I'm still relatively small in the grand scheme of things. I've accepted a lot of offers to just be like, oh yeah, I'm getting this free thing. But then when I get it, I'm like, well, how do I incorporate this into the theme and what I go with, guitar and stuff. So I've done the endless in-ear monitoring systems that I've then sold off because I'm not that they're bad. It's just that I'm just not going to use them. I don't need 50 of them laying around. Yeah. Pedals. I mean, I've had so many freaking Lakato pedals and stuff that I've just put on Facebook as here's a haul for $100. Just take them. I don't want them. I don't need them. And it's not that they're bad, but come the new year, that's something that I'm going to like anybody reaches out to me, but look, if it's not an ad spot thing, like I'll do ad spots, you know, but if it's not like a piece of gear I can use or something that's guitar related, I'm just gonna have to pass on. And I hate that,
Yeah.
but I'm starting to charge people too for videos. By the way, that's not something I've done until recently, and I've been missing out on a ton of money. I will say.
Boatload of cash.
I did that for a bit, but I found that now also this is not like my primary day job or anything,
Right.
so I don't have to do that. But I just didn't like the way that I felt like I made content when I was doing it as a job, you know, or like when I was being paid for it. I felt like it just felt icky to me.
Yeah.
So what I do now is, if a company wants me to check something out right out of the gate, I'll say, you can send it to me and I will check it out. And if I like it, then I'll make a video. But I'm not going to promise you a video. I'll be like, look, I mean, because if I like it, and then like I'll be inspired and I'll have some video come up with an idea, like it'll come to me.
Well,
But
like the thing is with you, you got a little more clout online than like say me or Sean do. You know, like I'm at under 5,700 subscribers. I haven't checked yours as of late, but I mean, like I know you're much bigger than I am, right? So to me, it's like you have a little more power online to be like, you know, yeah, maybe I don't want to, or whatever. And you know, I'm not saying it like.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I also I was talking to Henning Pauly about this. Like if we all get on the same page, you know what I mean, as guys that do this, like the companies they want you to do videos, and I'm not saying like you guys are doing anything wrong. You're not.
Unionize, baby.
But like to some extent, like I think have some confidence in yourself, no matter what your subscriber count says or whatever. Like because anybody can, like one of my bigger videos, it's like a DS1 video, has like, I don't know, like 800,000 views or something. I had like 1,000 subscribers when I made that video. And that just happened to be the one. And I think companies need to realize that like you're taking a chance with advertisement like that. But also we're talking about pedals, you know, like these little K-line, whatever things. These are $35 pedals that they sell them for $35. So they cannot be paying much to make these. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a huge investment on their part. So I don't know. I guess that would be my thought. As like I've been doing YouTube since 2010 or something. Just be cool with like, I mean, how much? Like, okay, here's a good example. It's not like you're hurting for stuff to do content on, right? Like, we as guitar players, how many pieces of gear do you have right now that you haven't made a video on that you could just get out and make something about? You know, so it's not like you need them; they need you, and just be cool with that. That would be my advice, I guess, if there was such a thing.
And that's exactly what I've learned. I would say really over the past few months is like, I don't need this new overdrive pedal that is the same as all the other ones. Like, I don't need that. You need me to make the video for you.
Yeah.
But
100%.
Again, the way that I kind of not skirt it really, but I've said, I'm going to start charging a pretty competitive fee based on the size of my channel and everything. And if they like it, it's a win-win for me because I get a free product that I can then sell for a little bit of money if I don't decide to keep it. Plus, I'm getting paid to do the video on top of that. And then if they don't want to do that, then that's my scapegoat, if you will, to get out of doing it, is that you don't want to pay me. And it's like, you know, because I mean, you're getting a product, so you're not really working for free necessarily, because then you're going to get the passive income. This is the way that I look at it. You're getting the passive income from YouTube. You get $100 a month or $200 a month. It's whatever, you know, it's money that you were going to, whatever. That's just the way that I look at it. So I'm going to change my whole scale with this. So it's like, I want to, and I have an idea that I've talked about a couple weeks ago. I guess I'll say it again. I'm going to start this little therapy session, if you will, that I'm calling 365 days of gas relief, because I thought that was funny.
It's a good one.
I'm going to try to go the entire year without buying any new piece of gear to try to challenge myself creatively to use what I have. I'll make an exception or two for certain pieces of gear that I've been looking for forever, but I'll talk about that when I'll make a full video talking about it. But unless I get something sent to me, I'm not going to buy anything. I'm going to try to work with what I got by December 31st. Whatever I have is what I'm going to use for all the content for 2026 is the goal.
Yeah,
I figured
that's really
I figured it'd
cool.
be an interesting concept.
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting concept, and it's also a good exercise for you as a musician.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
to be like, well, like, what can I do with what I've got? Because ultimately, I think the stuff that we all like the best as musicians, those dudes just did with what they had. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like Eddie Van
Well, and
Halen did not have a Floyd Rose on the first Van Halen record.
right. And that, like I
But
said,
we
that's
all enjoy that record, I think. You know?
thank you.
I feel like what's great is uh, I like watching. So just going back a little ways about the subscribership and stuff and tying that in, I am doing right now in this moment right here what I wanted to use YouTube for, which is I found cool guitar bros online, no matter
Right.
the scale, and have somehow with 395 subs, 98, I'm almost at 400, weaseled my way into having Electric Flamingo Jones and Lucas Fowler, and we have Super Danger on New Year's Day, like the guys that, like my guys on YouTube that I liked watching, that really sort of affected me in my guitar journey,
Right.
uh, on a podcast, so I can like bro down. So like that supersedes any subscribership count at all. I love my subs. Everybody shows up and shows love and stuff like that. So it's no big deal.
Right.
That way, I don't care about the sub count. And 2 Yards said that that's not my mission. He mentioned it just a little bit ago, but that's not why you should do YouTube. And I don't think that's why Lucas started doing YouTube, and I don't think that's why Jonathan started doing. I don't think that's why you guys do it, and that's why I like your channels, because it doesn't feel like this is why he's doing it, to get 100 free microphones, or like
Yeah.
whatever. It doesn't feel like that, and I think Lucas and I actually touched on that a little bit in our interview that we did over on my channel by ourselves previously, where it was like I could tell that he was like a real dude, and not just like some internet shill. And I don't think there's a ton of that, actually. I think it's way smaller amount of that than there is of guys like us that just want to nerd out and talk and play guitar.
Well, and I think that's what a lot of people. I mean, I've heard a lot of other channels be like, it's people want the real aspect. Like they want a real person, not someone that's just shilling a product or trying to
Yeah.
sell a product or whatever constantly, which is, I hate to admit it, but that's part of the dealing with the problem. Is that's kind of what in the past few months a lot of my videos have become, is it's been not me necessarily shilling the products, but it's just a lot of sponsored stuff. So in a way, it's made me feel like I've just become like this, not corporate machine, if you will, but just a machine of like, here's another pedal, here's another guitar, here's another this. I like doing it, but I also, it's like Lucas said, I have my little whiteboard back here full of ideas that I can't get to, because by the time I clear out my red marker stuff, which is sponsored stuff, to go to the blue, I've got 3 more freaking red scribbles up there with, I got to get this done because it's a sponsored thing. And it just is, it's beaten me down to the point
Yeah.
where I'm like, I
Feels
can't,
like
I
you're
can't do it
making
anymore.
commercials, right? Like kind of.
Yeah, and it's like I can't do it because then you fall into the aspect of what we were talking about last week, where it's like they want to send you a script and they want to send you the hashtags to use, and here's what we want you to put in the description, and it's like, I don't want to. This isn't, to me, this isn't a job. Like, you're not my boss. I'm my own boss with this thing. I'm doing it for fun. I'm making a little bit of extra money that's cool that I can spend on, either if I need to put it towards family stuff, we can do extra, put it back into the hobby I love. Like, that's the reason that I started this. It's a hobby and a passion that I have for music and guitar, and just I love it. And that's what I want to do. So I said, start. And I mean, you could say, why not start today? I'm just, I've got other stuff to get through the new year and holidays and all that kind of stuff. But 2026, man, it's going to try to be something. I think it'll be a slow burn, because, you'll have to break that habit of buying a new piece of gear every month or whatever. But
Sure. That's a
I think that
difficult.
it's going to revitalize me in a way.
Yeah.
Is what I'm wanting to do.
Let me just tell you, it's funny that you say that, because, well, first of all, like in the past year or something, I almost don't hardly watch guitar YouTube at all. Like, I make it,
Yeah.
but I don't watch a ton of it. Other than like, there's like a couple of guys. Anytime Pete Thorne puts up something, I will watch it because I love that guy. But and I've enjoyed. Somebody just mentioned him in the comments. I've enjoyed John Nathan Cordy's videos. I think are really cool because he actually kind of like talks a little bit about the philosophy around the gear and what he's playing and stuff. Right. But in general, what I have spent the most time the past year doing is watching stuff about video games. Because I am like a really diehard gamer, and in particular, I really enjoy. They call them retro. I would say vintage games. Like I'm like your Game Boy, PlayStation 1, like early kind of. That's where I tend to live most of the time. Yeah. And so I got into this thing with like emulators. Like I don't know if you guys are familiar with these little handheld emulators. Like I got down this rabbit hole with that, and what I did with that is I created myself option paralysis. Because I got so far into this habit that I was like buying. Yes, exactly. So I was like buying all these little. I have all these little doodads, and like I hacked my 3DS, and then what I realized is like I'm spending so much time messing with this stuff that I'm not playing games, you know, and I'm just not. And so a month or two ago, I was like, no, I'm just gonna like not get any more. I'm not gonna buy any more games, whether they're on sale. I'm not gonna buy any more emulators or whatever. I'm just gonna sit down and play some games, and it was liberating. I was like, yes. And so it just reminded me what you're saying there about, like just kind of working with what you got. Like it was so liberating to me to just sit down and be like, I'm gonna play this Pokemon game from front to back, and I'm just gonna do it. And I've had so much more fun that way.
I think that's why I named my channel Sean Plays Guitar, as almost like a reminder of like, a day, like anytime I post a video, like make sure you play some freaking guitar in this video now. Like,
which we ironically don't play a lot of guitar on this podcast.
Right.
Yeah, even though we're all sitting here holding guitars.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think it's super important for us to keep each other. I have a friend that on YouTube here named The Ubi. That's his channel. And if you're not subbed, I don't know who wouldn't be in this chat. But Ubi is like the best cheerleader for just playing, like making sure you're playing. He doesn't do he does a little bit of gear stuff, but mostly he has like a Tech Talk Tuesday live stream, but mostly he just live streams and he just plays his butt off. And it's a lot of fun to just be involved with a community that's like focused on playing, and keeps you, he keeps me honest with that. He's, reminds me to make sure you play that thing now. Like, don't just build it or, get a pedal. And my last video was just like 6 minutes of playing. It was somewhat of a pedal demo, but mostly I just wanted to play and record that. And I think that's, just like you're saying, Lucas, with the video games. Like, I have emulators on my computer and on my phone. I have that Delta app on my phone for the Nintendo games. And it's like, did you beat Mega Man, or did you just download it and then, also download Super Mario Brothers 3 or whatever? Like, my kids have a Super Nintendo, and they have a bunch of games. They don't play it that often, so it's kind of just like sitting there. And it's like, when you're ready to play a video game, like, don't ask me for my phone. Like, you're gonna get Super Nintendos in your room. Go
get the real experience.
Beat Super Mario World, and then come talk to me about new games or whatever.
Well, then you get into the whole debate with gamers where it's like, well, do you do emulation or do you do original hardware? And it's like, yeah, it's gonna play better on the original hardware, but I mean, you can't take a freaking SNES out with you when you can just play it on your phone or whatever. It's like, like I've got a Dolphin emulator on my phone that does GameCube games, which to me, that's freaking insane that a phone, something that big, can handle a GameCube game. I mean, it handles it well too. That's the thing. Like, I can play, a GameCube game out and just, at a restaurant or something if I wanted to. That's insane to me.
There's a guy that that I follow on YouTube, Bob Wolf. He's a game YouTuber kind of guy, and he said the best game system is the one that you have with you. And I was like, oh yeah, that's the truth. So like, which one's better for? It doesn't matter. Just whatever you got, man. Just play the game. You know, like, and this is, I mean, like, this is from someone like, I have a large collection of consoles, and you know, I have the CRT set up, like the big giant CRT with the old Technics speakers and everything. I'll have to send you guys pictures of it. It's funny.
That's cool.
And like there is something magical about sitting down in front of the glow of the tube TV and flicking on the N64 and seeing it come to life. It's like a tube amp or something, you know.
Right.
But also, like, it's hard to sometimes to sit down and find the time to do that. And those games are not convenient, you know, like if you need to stop, you can't just save anywhere, you know.
Yep.
So there is something to be said for modern conveniences too.
Emulators and save states, man. God.
Yeah, save states are great.
So that brings me,
Battletoads.
that, like, sort of wraps it into the other thing I was going to talk about or ask you about, Lucas, is the, you know, we're talking about emulators versus the original hardware. John Mayer just broke the internet yesterday. Again. And coupled with Neural DSP for the John Mayer suite, or whatever they call that. What do you think, based on what you're seeing about that? Is it the future of guitar playing?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I think, much like we as guitar players, I think all, especially those that are kind of this age and older, there is something magical about analog equipment, and it does for us something that maybe it doesn't do for like the guy, you know, whoever's 10 or 12 right now and is like just picked up their guitar for the first time and they hear like Tim Henson or something. Yeah. Like, they're not going to care about whether it's a real amp or not, because those guys, they can record these plugins and sound great. It's, you know, it's what makes the music. But I also think, like, if you're asking like whether it's the future, yeah, like probably, because I am very impressed with how good plugins can sound, and also there's a use case thing, right? So like, it doesn't make sense for most people to have a 150 watt steel string singer type amp turned up loud enough to move EVs to make it sound like that. Right. When you could just plug your guitar into an interface and get what's really close enough to make great music. Like, I think John Mayer, on his last record that he put out, the one that sounded like 80s Eric Clapton, I'm trying to remember what the name of the record was. Sob Rock?
Yeah.
I think a lot of the tones on that, he said he recorded with an Axe Effects just directly into the interface.
Yep.
But like, I listened to that whole thing front to back, and it's like chock full of great tunes, and I never thought, damn Axe Effects.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, it sounds great because John Mayer's a great guitar player. And I think that's what it comes down to, really. It's like, if you play great and it sounds good, the feedback to you is good, you're going to make good music, and that is all that matters.
Well, I mean, it's like the Neural Amp Modeler. Yeah. That thing's 100% free, open source. I use that like almost exclusively. Like, I've got a Blackstar HD5 over here that I love it, right? Not full tube or whatever, but I mean, I love it. It's like the physical piece of whatever. It goes loud paired with a 212. Like, it sounds great.
Yeah.
But another thing too is to record, you have to mic it up, you have to, you know, fiddle with it, you know, your pedals and stuff. It's a whole setup. With Neural Amp Modeler, you go there, download, you know, I've got a ton of constantly, and it's plug and play.
Yeah.
And it's I mean, it's like you said, if some kid heard Tim Henson playing, like, they can get something similar to that for free.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, it's crazy. You don't even need like, you don't even need like a DAW or anything. But even then, Reaper. I use Reaper.
So I'll say that I think the use case for the gear, the old gear, like, I'm sure you see my big rack of amps back there.
Yeah.
You know, those are 120 watt amps, and like, I'm not taking those out to gig with them. You know, I'm 36. I don't lift heavy stuff anymore. You know, and other than my children, but I think the use case is, I've seen Glenn Fricker talk about this. It's the same thing as like using programmed drums, like GGD, Get Good Drums. Their drums sound like amazing. Like, that's some of the best programmed drums I've ever heard. But they are still programmed drums, and if everyone uses those programs, everyone's records sound the same. To a certain extent. So there is something magical to the idiosyncrasies of pieces of gear that sound different just inherently. So my example for use case would be like at the upper echelon of recording, guys that are making $1 million records, then like, yeah, no excuse, man. Go put a mic in front of the box and get it to sound the way it sounds so that we can have something different, you know?
Yeah.
But if you're like when we intertwined, when we made our first records in like 2010 or something, 2009, like plugins like that were not good. I mean, there were some like pod farm kind of stuff, but it wasn't good.
Line stick, UX1 interface with pod farm on it.
So to sound good, we had to take my dual rectifier and put it on top of a 412 cabinet and turn it up and like put microphones in front of it. And that's how you got that big sound. But because we did that, like my rec didn't sound like somebody else's rec. And so that record ends up sounding kind of unique. And so there is some magic and mystique in that, but it's not necessary. Like the quality of the music will outweigh the quality of the recording. Like some of those Tom Petty tunes that are famous, like what's it? Last Dance with Mary Jane. There's some parts in that song that I feel like are really pokey. Like the hi-hat and stuff just really jump out at you. It's like, I would not have mixed the song that way. But it's part of what makes that special because it's such a great song that it's just like part of the whole thing. So I guess that what I'm saying is like there is always going to be a use case for this old like analog cantankerous gear that requires out of date tubes and capacitors and stuff that no one uses anymore.
Right.
But it isn't necessary. What's more important is the quality of the content that's being made.
Really quick, I hate to be this guy, but I got a dip. I got to go pick up my son from school, and my wife's blowing up my phone.
All right, man.
Important stuff.
I got to say, hey, really quick, just thank you, Lucas, for all your time and for jumping on with us and the insightfulness, whatever. I'm trying to think of what to say. Just everything you said, man. It was really insightful and really, to some degree, eye-opening. And I really, great advice, great words of wisdom. I'm trying to just, I don't know.
Turn your trust
Thank you very much for I had a great
thank
time.
you. Thank you for the kind words. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, we'd love to have you back on it at some point in time too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, like I said, I'm so sorry, everybody. I got to dip. I've tried to stretch it out as long as I could, but I really do got to get going. So
appreciate you, brother.
100%.
So I'm gonna head on out. Thank you, guys.
All right. Merry Christmas, man.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. All right. Well, we can wrap this up because I got to get back to my worky job thing as
For sure.
well. But yeah, dude, just like Jonathan said, thank you for coming on here and hanging out. I know you love to nerd out, so
I do.
This is a space that's safe to do that. And yeah, man, what do you have coming up? Let's finish off with you're working on a guitar build, so there's some videos coming on your channel, right?
Yeah. I would say as far as YouTube is concerned, that's my big project right now. Is I'm working on a multi-part series of like kind of designing and building my own like parts guitar from scratch, so to speak. And I've already done a great interview with Aaron from Warmouth about that. I just yesterday did a really cool video with Eddie from Kaler that I'll be putting that out pretty soon. I'm going to do one where I talk with Jose from Planet Tone about the pickup design and all that kind of stuff. So I'm really just getting into the weeds about the specific parts. So if you really enjoy that.
He's very like out of the limelight. Like he doesn't do YouTube videos. And so, I mean, seemingly most of the YouTube videos for Planet Tone pickups are on your channel. And he makes a great product, and it's cool that you've got him to come out of his shell a little and do it.
I'm fortunate to have a really good, close relationship with him. Like we're good friends, and I said, hey, would you be willing to do that for me? And he's like, yeah, I'll do that for you. And I was like, okay, awesome, because I know, like so many people don't even know what he looks like. There's no, it's like he just doesn't exist. But
he's a ghost on the interwebs for sure.
But he's a sweetheart of a guy and a real mad genius, and I'm very fortunate to have him as a friend and also as like a co-designer. We make stuff together, so I'm looking forward to doing that too.
That's awesome.
And then in terms of like my musical project stuff, so the last thing that I did was I worked with Josh Sanders from The Voice. We put out an EP, so you can find that on Spotify and stuff, all those streaming platforms. If you check out Josh Sanders, there's another Josh Sanders, but you're looking for the Josh Sanders that was on The Voice. Josh Sanders. We put out a 4-song EP that was all like recorded here in my studio. It's awesome. Kind of southern rock country type stuff. Right now, I am in the process of demoing out and recording some of my own kind of solo tunes, which is really I'm excited about. It's kind of going to be in a slightly different direction. And then sometime I think in the beginning of next year, we'll probably put out a couple new intertwined songs. We got a big library of stuff that needs to be recorded. It's just a lot of work to get all the guys in one spot. You know, we all live all over the place. Kenan works for a soccer team that's like in Colombia or something.
Oh, wow.
Or not Colombia, Columbus.
Okay. Columbus.
Yeah, Columbus. That makes more
I was
sense.
like, dang, he's way
Yeah. No, but yeah, he's like a jet setting kind of dude. So he's like all over the place. It's hard to nail him down. But hopefully beginning of next year, you should see some multiple things from me. So my music's a little more old school influence. So you're going to hear some more 80s kind of stuff from that. But then when we get an intertwine, we're kind of more in progressive rock. And and then I've got, like 5 million, like you guys, 5 million YouTube videos that need to be done. People have sent me things to check out. Like, God bless the dude from Wong's that sent me this amp like last year.
Wings.
And I was like, yeah, I'll get to that. And then like I had to have all the surgeries and everything. And I'm like, I'm sorry, Jeff. I promise I am going to do this. This is a great sounding amp and I am going to do this.
I've heard it on 60 Cycle Hum. He's had one for years and it's a cool amp. It's really cool.
Yeah, this is basically like a 50-watt super lead. And it like I have had the pleasure of playing some real 50 and 100-watt super leads from that time period, and it's very close.
That's awesome.
And like it's hand wired and everything, and it's like loud as all hell. Like it's very satisfying to play.
It'll be cool, man. Well, yeah, we'll wrap it up here. But dude, thanks again for jumping on with us, and we'll have you back again. And I would love to like do an episode when you are, once you've released your music and stuff, we can have you back on and maybe have a listen and talk about making music with having a YouTube presence and stuff like that.
Yeah, right on.
That definitely is right up my alley. So Jonathan's working on music. I'm working on music. Robert Baker's doing an album. Like there's lots of good stuff going on in the universe right now. So I look forward to
love Robert. He's what a great dude. What a great player.
Yeah. Dude, fantastic guy. I think we're gonna have him on after the new year. And I mean that's what it's all about for me, is just getting on with great people and having a good time. So
everybody having a good time at somebody's mom's house. I mean,
yeah, that's right. It's always a good time at all y'all's mom's house.
All y'all's mom's house.
I am doing a live stream tomorrow night, so if anybody's up super late, I will be on the internet playing guitar, and I think I'm gonna wear a Santa Claus hat and some light bulbs and stuff. We're gonna rock out a little bit before Christmas, so everybody jump on for that. And other than that, everybody, including you, Lucas, have a Merry Christmas.
Likewise, my friends.
All right.